Everybody be cool. You be cool. From Dusk Till Dawn stars George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, Juliette Lewis, and is directed by Robert Rodriguez. So what's up, guys? I've actually been watching the From Dusk Till Dawn TV series, the first 2 seasons so far anyway, with my wife, and we decided to throw in the movie. And I was in the middle of the movie, and it kind of struck me. I was like, damn, this is such a fun movie, and I haven't seen it in ages. And so I thought, you know what? I think I kind of want to review this. And so I posted a little poll on Killer Flicks and on Twitter, and pretty much everybody said, yeah, go ahead and review it. Also, guys, if you want to own From Dusk Till Dawn, I will put my Amazon affiliate link below. You click on that link and it'll take you right to the Blu-ray of this movie, and then you can purchase it. And it also supports the channel, which is really cool in my book. And you can also get this. This is a Lament configuration because I'm in the middle of my Hellraiser series right now, which is interesting so far. But I'll put a link to this below too because this is really badass. But From Dusk Till Dawn, it's about the Gecko brothers, Seth and Richie. And they are pretty much the worst kind of criminals. No ifs, ands, or buts. And their goal in this movie is to get past the Mexican border and to get to a nightclub called the Titty Twister. That's how they're going to celebrate if they get past the border. And they use the Fuller family, Jacob, Kate, and Scott, played by Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis, and Ernest Liu. But once they get to the Titty Twister, they realize that this is actually a vampire haven. And shit just really hits the fan. It gets chaotic as hell. And it's a fun ass ride. But what works so well about this movie is it's a Quentin Tarantino script. He wrote the screenplay. And there is no director in my mind that does a better job with criminals than Tarantino. I mean, dialogue in general, that's what he's known for. He writes the best dialogue. And I think if you're kind of new to Tarantino's work, From Dusk Till Dawn is a great place to start because, you know, it's not overly long. You know, you're kind of in and out. It's like an hour and a half. And there's very few Tarantino scripts that are this short. You know, but you still get all that great dialogue that you normally get in Tarantino's scripts. Namely in Seth and Richie, these two characters are just fantastic. And they're so different, but they're brothers and they love each other. But Seth played, I mean, fabulously by Clooney, who was like 6th in line for the role, by the way. He just completely nails it as this character because he is kind of the leader. Everything is on his shoulders and he constantly seems like he is agitated throughout the whole movie. But he's so quick-witted, highly entertaining to watch, and you can't get enough of Seth. And then there's Richie, played by Quentin Tarantino, actually, who also does a great job. And Richie is so interesting because he's really a sociopath. He's a sex offender, and it's kind of cool to have a movie to take the quote-unquote good guys of the movie and make one of them a sex offender. Pretty ballsy, and if you're not a great writer, it's hard to pull that off, but Tarantino does. I mean, you love Richie, even though he is the most horrible type of human being to walk the planet. I mean, if you knew this guy in real life, you'd hate him. But for some reason, on From Dusk Till Dawn, you love the hell out of him. And nobody can forget that one scene when Juliette Lewis comes into the hotel room when Richie meets her for the first time. Well, I'll just watch this clip.
Richie, would you do me a favor and eat my pussy for me, please?
That clip right there lets you know the type of person that Richie is. And he's really funny, but he's completely delusional. Now, Harvey Keitel, who plays Jacob Fuller, he's actually really interesting too because he used to be a preacher and then his wife died and he gave up his religion. You know, he still believes in God and Jesus, he's just not very happy with them at the moment. But once they get to the nightclub, this little plot device comes into play. He has to kind of find his religion again in order to beat the vampires. Now, what's so cool about From Dusk Till Dawn is, like, for the first half of the movie, it's not a vampire movie at all. It's more of a hostage film, and you have no idea. Like, if this was the first time you saw this movie, you didn't see any trailers, you wouldn't know that this was going to be a vampire movie.
We're fucking in Mexico, you little piece of fucking shit!
It's really 2 completely different types of films, actually, if you break it in half. But once they get to the nightclub in the second half of the movie, that's when it becomes a completely different type of film. It becomes a horror film. And I love when movies do that if they do it effectively, and this one does it probably the best. Now we're going to talk about the titty twister scene. The scene with Salma Hayek really kind of sets the tone. You got this really seductive dance. This is the scene where I think I found my second puberty. I'm gonna need a minute. Focus. But yeah, I don't really have to describe that scene to you. If you've seen this movie, then you know what I'm talking about and you can enjoy it. It's a great scene, really great scene. But the scene is so fun because you have some interesting characters here, especially the sex machine played by none other than the iconic Tom Savini. And Tom Savini actually holds his own as an actor. You can tell he had a blast doing this role. But for a real quick second there too, at the beginning, you can also see Greg Nicotero, who's also a big name in visual effects. Matter of fact, he does The Walking Dead now. And just on a side note, they partially used his face for the Halloween 5 mask. But this scene, it's complete chaos. It's a practical effects lover's dream. It really is. This is my kind of vampire movie. There are two different types of vampire movies. There's the romantic, lovey-dovey, seductive type of vampire movies, and then there is this, where the vampires are complete creatures. Although there is some seduction there too with Salma Hayek, of course. But you know what I mean. This really is not about that for the most part. This is about, you know, once they become vampires, they really look like monsters. But director Robert Rodriguez does such a great job of handling this segment of the movie because it's actually pretty long and you have a lot of vampire action, but it's spaced out pretty well and he gets pretty creative with the kills. And it's also fun because you actually have the band playing during the whole thing. And once they become vampires as well, their musical instruments become like body parts, which I don't know how that happened, but you know, it's fun. But guys, in the end, From Dusk Till Dawn, classic vampire film. I would give it a high purchase worthy. Very fun movie. Have not seen any of the sequels. Don't really have a desire to see any of the sequels. Let me know in the comments if they're worth checking out. Maybe I'll check them out. Also, post your thoughts on From Dusk Till Dawn below. Looking forward to hearing them. Also, guys, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks where we talk horror all day, every day. And on Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. Follow me on social media at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. If you like what I'm doing, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.